Rip is kind of insane. He is better than an alarm clock. He literally wakes up every morning at 6 a.m. and I'm half convinced that it's so he can come outside and watch sunrise. Every morning is a little bit different. The birds singing, the sky is just so pretty every single morning. Very rarely does it have clouds like this, so that adds kind of a different I don't know, aesthetic to the sunrise, but it is really, really pretty. So while I begrudge him a little bit for knowing that it is 6 a.m. every single morning, I do always appreciate getting to see the starts of sunrise. Sun won't actually rise for about 15 more minutes, so this is really just right at dawn. It's super pretty every morning. Always nice to finish a project. This was probably one of our quicker projects. Consisted of 2 railroad ties, one full one, and then one that Chris used a chainsaw to cut like 2/3, 1/3 to make this corner. He put some braces on for me yesterday to secure the corner and to keep these from drifting apart. Wasn't able to get one here, which I would have liked one there. They just didn't line up. So I'm hopeful that this end being secured will keep it in place. But I got some daffodils and some hyacinths planted because those will come back every year. And then once it gets to be annual weather, I will be planting some annuals up here. I did plant some pansies a couple of weeks ago and they're doing okay. They did freeze one night last week, but they're starting to rejuvenate and we have some great weather coming up. So super quick and easy little project here to add a little bit of curb appeal. We ordered a couple of real size trees in addition to our trees that are going to get planted here in the next couple of weeks that we'll get in May. So every little bit helps. If only my grass would grow. So I'm off to water it in hopes that it's not dead or blown away is probably more likely. But anyway, fingers crossed, eventually I'll end up with grass. I bought this planter today from a gentleman who was selling them. He said that I probably don't need a liner, but I'm thinking, so this is all made out of cedar, but I'm thinking since it's here on the porch, I may put some kind of liner in it. If it was sitting in the grass, it wouldn't matter if the dirt kind of fell through. So I'm going to think on this. So still have plenty of dirt left over. I do like this position. It's kind of protected from the wind, right there against the house. But I have to determine if I want to find a way to seal off the gaps. So I'm going to think on this one, but I think this looks cute sitting here on the front porch for some more flowers. I do love my flowers. So update on one of my 2 soul-crushing sagas. I have 2 that are bound to be the end of me. The first, of course, is the sandbirds that continue to plague me, the dogs, every article of clothing that we own. And yeah. The second is the sad state of my grass growing. So when I planted the seeds, these were the patches of grass that were peeking up from the end of the year that didn't grow in October. And we are now, it'll be in 2 days, it'll be 2 weeks since I reseeded and prepped the ground and did the hay. And you can see how little hay remains, mostly because it is strewn all about Nebraska and all along there. So the hay or whatever it was blew away. Some of it's still there, but for the most part, there's no signs of grass. It is soul crushing to water 2 times a day for no benefit, I suppose. If I had some grass, maybe I would still be committed to do it. But I broke down today and bought a sprinkler. So I'm going to resort to using the sprinkler because if there is any seed left, it's probably buried far enough that there shouldn't be too much washout and runoff, which is what I experienced in the fall before. But now I have to go chase after this guy who is protecting my livestock that's inside in the kitchen. So I'm going to go collect him and hopefully let this water in the next couple of days of lovely weather possibly produce some grass. Stay tuned. Mystery, run around again. I know.
Me excited for you being a little bit of a butt munch.
Alright, let's go around back. Your mama's looking at ya.
Okay.
Run around. I want to see you run around.
So making sure you're okay.
Is that right? Come back on to those.
When I found out,
Gosh.
found out they had the baby, I was like, I yelled. I was like, not 6 drops. How did you so fast?
You are so pretty. You are so pretty. Yes, you are.
Oh,
Am I not paying enough attention to you, huh? Am I not paying enough attention to you? This is Tia. And that's Molly. And this is Champagne. All right. Yes, I know. Hello. I can pay attention to two at one time. How long do you want to keep them in? Just till they see the thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, show me your tail. Yes, we know. Does the turkey have a name? Two projects on tap for today. One is I did decide to make a interior shell for the cedar raised bed that I bought the other day. So I'm going to start by using up some of the leftover plywood that I had from the cabinet project and going to cut those pieces. Haven't quite decided how I'm going to put that together yet, but I'm going to at least cut the pieces today. And then I finally got all the material for my raised bed that's going to go out back. So I'm going to plug away and see how much of that I can get done today too. collect all my supplies and take them over to the backyard where this is going to be built. So here are all my pieces lined up, ready to begin assembly. I tried to find the most level spot, but once I secure it, I'll get the level out, and if I need to, I may need to lower the side closest to the wheelbarrow a hair, but I'm going to put it together and then determine if I need to do something about leveling it out. So I picked this spot for a couple of reasons. This spot basically has sun all day, every day. My water, my hose bed is right there. Eventually, I'm gonna assume I'm gonna be successful growing vegetables, unlike growing grass. If I have success and I want to expand the garden, I'm going to put another one side by side, and then I'm going to put a trellis in between so things that grow on vines can grow up the trellis. But that's either a later this summer or next spring project. So I'm going to begin assembling this and hope that I don't run out of days. As per usual, the GoPro died on me, and I ran out of screws anyway. But this is as far as I've gotten. There's something not quite kosher with that back right corner. I may end up taking that whole side apart over there and trying to mess with it because something's just not right. I don't know what, because all my corners are square except for that corner. There was a pretty warped board, which I didn't pick up on when I was picking the boards today. I thought I was super careful. Again, it's for vegetables, so it doesn't have to be beautiful, but it will drive me a little bit crazy with that corner being buggered up. So I may mess with it once I get more screws. So what still needs done is the rest of these cleats need to go on. So I just put 2 on here. What they're eventually going to do is when the 2x4s sit on there, it's just going to provide support so that when I sit on it, it doesn't collapse. But so the 2x4s, we'll use that one at the end as a brace. The one on the side. Yeah, see something? No, that's right. So that's good. This one's good. So it's just definitely that back corner. But anyway, so the 2x4s will go all along the top to create a rail of sorts so that as I'm working with the vegetables, it's just a little seat. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 more cleats to put on, and then I can put the 2x4 rail on. But overall, pretty pleased with it. Still have quite a bit of dirt there, so I should be good to fill it up. I also got some compost to mix in with that compost and manure. It's roughly 20 inches deep, so I should be able to grow most vegetables in here. And everybody keeps telling me Mother's Day, so don't plan anything out here until after Mother's Day. So that'll give me some time to finish this up and figure out what's going on with this corner. But overall, let's see, what time is it? This took about 2 hours to do what I did, and I still have a little more than an hour of daylight, but I'm out of screws. So to be continued.
All right, so we'll see if anybody can actually hear me because it's pretty windy out here. I was working on this rototiller attachment for the tractor that I bought. Tried hooking it up a couple of weeks ago whenever I used the middle buster and the disc harrow to start plowing for the trees, but the connection was too short. If I hooked up the 3-point connector into the tractor, the shaft didn't reach. And if I dumped the PTO shaft, the 3-point connector points were too close to connect to the tractor. So I thought that this thing was kind of welded together and put together by the guy I bought it from, who actually I bought it from his wife, his widow. He unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago, so it's been sitting a couple of years. And it didn't seem to have any play in it or any, adjustability to it. So I thought I was going to have to buy a new PTO shaft, and I was trying to take it off so that I could see what kind of connector I needed on this end, because this is a Howard rotavator made in England, and I'm going to guess the 60s maybe. Uh, so I was assuming it's going to take some sort of special non-standard connector on the tiller end. So I had to take this shroud off, and I tried to take this plate off. That still didn't do anything. You can see there was all kinds of grease caked on there that I got off. So basically there's a nut on there, I think that's reverse threaded, but it's impossible to get to with the universal joint all intact and everything's frozen up. So that was a bust. But then I noticed, or I had noticed before, but down here, right, it's got your regular 540 PTO 6-spline connector on this end of the U joint, but it's got a 10-spline connector here, which I thought maybe the guy had modified the original shaft, right, to take it from whatever it was in England or what it was built for his tractor. But it turns out no, this is actually the shaft, and it does slide in and out after a little persuasion with a hammer. Uh, it does slide in and out. I still got to grease it so it goes better, and I got to put grease in the gearbox and in the chain drive and everything like that. But I'm hoping maybe tomorrow. It's supposed to be windier tomorrow, but still warm. So I'm hoping maybe I'm able to get it hooked up to the tractor tomorrow and at least make sure it fits and attaches. And then I have to go buy some gear oil to oil it up. And then maybe later this week, early next week, hopefully I'll be able to run it because it needs to be done by like the 18th or something for them to plant the trees on the 25th. So hopefully we'll have success tomorrow. All right. So after a couple days of pain and agony, I got this tiller that I bought attached to the tractor. I lifted it up in the air and turned the PTO on, and it spins it. So at least all by itself, and the weight of it isn't too heavy for the tractor. We'll see once it's in the dirt how it does. But since I already broke up the dirt and disked it, I'm hoping it'll be all right. So the next thing is it's been sitting for a couple of years at least, according to the lady I bought it from. So need to oil it up a little bit. This gearbox, select the tilth as you see. It comes with two different sets of 2 gear wheels, so you can change the gearing for your size of tractor and how fast you want the thing to spin and stuff like that. Of course, I don't have a manual to tell me which ones to use for which, but we'll try it as it is, and if it's a problem, we'll switch them out. But I took this off before to check them out. Clearly it's gears running in here, so you would want some lubrication. There's not really a whole lot to be seen. So you can see there's two wheels on there that are currently running, and then there's two extra ones that kind of just sit in here next to it. Kind of a weird design. I mean, there's pins on this cover to hold them, but that doesn't really hold them while this is turning. But anyway, that's not generally what you want to see for lubrication. So I'm going to get some paper towels and see if I can scoop any of that out. And then we're going to put some gear oil in. I got 80W9 or W90 gear oil. Again, hard to get manuals or information on these things, but everybody that I saw seemed to think that 90 weight would be good. Some people said they use 140 weight, but mostly those are people in the south of the United States, or the south of, or the outback of Australia, where it's a lot hotter than it is here in Wyoming. So I think we want something a little less thick than 140 when it's still getting kind of chilly here, even though it's 80 some degrees today. But I'm going to try to clean this out with some paper towels or something, and then put some oil in here, tighten it back up. And then I also need to put some oil in this case over here where there's a chain drive that drives the actual tiller's tines. So we're going to put some in there too. Got the sludge cleaned out of the bottom of here. I had read something online saying 6 quarts for this gearbox, and I thought, it's freaking crazy, because there's no way there's going to 6 quarts of oil is going to fit in this little void. But there's actually two plugs that there are 2 ports at the bottom here that go the whole way back into this whole gearbox. So it does seems to fill it here for both of those. So I bought 4 quarts. I'm gonna put 2 quarts in here and 2 quarts in the side, but I put all 4 quarts in here because it took that long until it stopped draining back into the big part of the gearbox. So I mean, there's enough there now that the bottom of the wheels are getting in it. I'm sure there was still some inside the box because it's kind of at an angle here, but I need more diesel for the tractor anyway, so I'm going to go get that, and maybe at the gas station they've got a couple more quarts of gear oil I can put in this side over here. Here's hoping. And here's the other goofy part, right? Here's the other 2 gears, and they just sort of sit on those pins on this thing, but when you put it back on here, they just sort of fall in against those, so it's a very weird design. I'm not sure how they stop from, or how they're not just rubbing against each other. I guess they are. But, I guess that's why you oil it. All right, so we're back with our diesel, and we went to the gas station up the road that's 15 minutes away, but closest one we got. And I don't know, I bought 4 quarts of Pennzoil synthetic 90 weight oil at Menards earlier for $7.99 a quart, I think, at the gas station up there, which has definitely a captive audience. They had 2 quarts of Mobil 1 synthetic 90 weight for $18.99 a quart. I did not get that. I got regular Mobil 140 weight for only $11.99 a quart. So I got 2 quarts of that to put in this side thing. I don't know if you can see, took the cap off, but there is a little bit. I mean, you can tell there's some, right, there's a little bit in there even up here at the top. I mean, this thing was sitting, down on its side when it was on the ground. So there's still a little bit in there anyway. I'm not going to drain what's in there right now, but I'm going to put 2 quarts in, put the cap back on, and gas up the tractor and go try to till one of the rows for the trees. See how it goes.
ended up taking this apart because I couldn't get it even close to level. I didn't totally take it apart. I disconnected the top from the bottom, took the top layer, flipped it over, leveled out the bottom. I dug out, I don't know, about 3 inches at this end. That seemed to really help. It's still not great, but I think what Chris thought is maybe when I make a second one, which I intend to do next year, build the two pieces on level ground and then bring it over. My mistake was trying to build it here on ground that was not level. So I got it as close as I am going to get it. So it's not great. You can see how the back line is not parallel with the front. The front's pretty level, so it is what it is for this first one. I'll just make adjustments for the second one. All right, my first raised bed turned out way better after I broke it apart a little bit. Again, I learned my lesson. I will build it on level ground and then bring it to where it's going to go. But all in all, pretty happy with it. All of the inside supports and the cleats up on the side, those were leftover pieces of wood from another project. So I basically took a couple of different ideas from people on YouTube and made it my own. And now tomorrow I'm going to lay some cardboard on the bottom. And then there's my pile of dirt that will find its way in here. So roughly roughly 20 inches deep. So I should be able to grow just about anything. I do have plans to build one right here next year. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I can actually grow something this year. So fingers crossed. Everybody tells me don't plant till after Mother's Day. That's kind of the rule that I followed in Ohio as well. So I just really wanted to get this built mostly so I could get rid of that dirt. So I'll fill it. I also got some compost and manure to mix in with that dirt. And then we'll be good to go in about a month. So, yay.